welcome. Hello, Annika. Hello, Ploon. Oh, is that why you weren't on the call, Annika? You thought it was Tuesday. I mean, that's a famous me move right there, so I can relate to that one. I believe it's Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe I'm the one that's wrong. That's entirely possible too. How is everyone doing? How long has everyone been on? I think, yeah. I set the stream for 2:30, so I think everyone knew the Patreon call went long today, and I wanted to have some lunch, and it was absolutely delicious. Portobello mushroom burger. I'm getting ready to celebrate my solar return this weekend. So I'm going to be going out to dinner tonight and doing some stuff. And I just wanted a nice laid back live stream today and a nice laid back day. So we're going to be talking about whatever comes up, how people are feeling these energies, maybe a little bit about what's coming up in the week ahead. Next week, we're going to be doing the Saturn in Aries live stream, examining those energies, because that is, of course, coming on the 24th. At least a little dip into Aries before the retrograde later this year. So we're going to be getting a taste of that Saturn and Aries energy, just as we're getting a taste of that Saturn or Neptune and Aries energy, rather. What I was getting that was interesting about 2025 is that this is sort of like a preview year, where we're getting previews of possible timelines, previews of the energies that we're stepping into. And then as we move back into the retrograde in Pisces, this is for Neptune and Saturn, opportunity, and really Uranus is retrograde as well, because Uranus is going to dip back into Taurus, right? Move into Gemini, dip back into Taurus. So there's a lot of this back and forth energy, and a lot of this like getting these previews of these different timelines, these different versions of us that we are aligning with, and then getting to make any of the corrections, I guess you could say, during the retrograde. So the second half of the year is going to be very contemplative. It's going to be a lot of going back over, looking at, okay, so this is what I liked, this is what I didn't like. As I was moving through the first part of this year, how can I realign or recalibrate my energy and your soul to maybe shift it to change some of the things that I wasn't so fond of? And of course, your soul is going to be fully helping with this process as these planets are connecting in with that Pisces energy, which does represent the higher consciousness, the higher self. Hello, Lindsay. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride. Well, we're still on it, right? How's everyone feeling after that full moon in Scorpio? That was intense. We were talking about it on the Patreon call earlier, about how it felt almost like we sort of merged with another version of ourselves. And there was actually kind of this shift in a really positive direction, like this releasing of control and this shift into kind of a calmer state of being, in a sense, where it's just like some type of resistance broke. And so a lot of us are feeling really, really positive and much more relaxed after that Scorpio new moon. It's just kind of like, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. We're just along for the ride kind of an energy. So if we were able to surrender control during that full moon, a whole new door of possibility just opened for us. And it's not too late. If you're still holding on, Uranus conjunct the sun is still getting ready to shake you loose. There's a lot of energies out here that are still assisting in us making that shift and giving up that control, surrendering, right? And as we move through retrograde season in the second half of this year, like we said, also, there's going to be a deeper level of surrender. I'm actually really excited. So this week's busy, but next week, I don't know why it is. My hair always looks so crazy when I get on these live streams. There's like nothing that I can do about it. It's just like sticking out in weird places. It does its own thing. What are you going to do? So my sun is conjunct Algol, interestingly enough, which is Medusa's eye. So it represents like the eye or the head of Medusa. And I can totally see that with my hair, because, you know, like her hair was snakes. So it was all crazy and sticking out in weird ways. I actually used to have a pet snake And she used to sit in my hair and be kind of sticking out the sides of my head. So it's just kind of funny the way all of this stuff kind of connects in together here. I don't know why I went off on that sort of tirade or diatribe or whatever, but it's astrology is weird, like right down to the nitty gritty of those little aspects. And then also when we're looking at like the more symbolic aspects. But after we move through this week and I get to everything taken care of that I need to get taken care of this week, I'm going to do a video on the Pluto retrograde because it's really powerful how Pluto is retrograding over the fixed star Altair right now, which we've been talking about a little bit. So there's major themes of leadership, just major themes of stepping into our power, of the type of power that we are exuding, of the ways that we show up for others and the ways that we show up in these roles, like we said, of leadership, independence, sovereignty. It's such a massive energy. And of course, in a square to the Shapley attractor, in the tightest square. And I'm actually going to take a look at the ephemeris. I want to see what the second Pluto retrograde after this one is going to look like degree-wise. It can't be too far off from that because Pluto is not a fast mover, as we know. Let me see. So we're into 2025, going into 2026 here. 4, 5, retrograde at 5. Next summer, retrograde back to 4, back to 3. Yep. And then direct at 3. Yeah. So this is the tightest square to the Shapley that Pluto's going to make is during this particular retrograde. He's still going to be within range during the next one. So we'll see a deepening and a continuation of what's being revealed. But the big reveals are at least initiating and beginning to take place during this retrograde. This is where intentions are revealed. This is where people start getting really curious to look beneath the surface of things, to see what's going on in the depths, to see what is happening behind closed doors. So there's going to be a lot of that revealed. And I think a lot too, we're starting to delve into the shadow side of AI. So that's going to be a really fun video when I get around to that one. Pluto retrograde it's not one of the biggest deals in the sense that like Pluto's retrograde for about 5 months out of every year. So it's a very consistent cycle. It's not as I don't even like to say rare for the personal planets, because the inner planets, like they all have cycles, right? It's not like it's a thing like, oh, this only happens every 60 years. You know what I mean? But when the outer planets retrograde for like almost half the year, it's not as huge of a deal. It's just a different way that we're dealing with the energies. It's a deeper delve, particularly with planets like Pluto, who only go through those coupled few degrees a year, where we're really looking at those points. So the fact that Altair is there, the fact that 2 degrees of Scorpio, where we have that Shapley attractor, is squaring this point with Black Moon Lilith currently there. I believe she's there as we're filming this. She was there for the full moon. It's going to be an intense one, you guys. This is going to be one for the books. So I am definitely looking forward into delving into that with you all, to delving into Saturn as he dips his toes into the sign of Aries. This is such a big, bold, empowering energy. When Saturn and Neptune meet in 2026, the beginning of 2026, at that birthing point, that 0 degree of Aries point, the first point in the entire zodiac, sparks are going to fly. This is such a massive reset. And it's that energy of dissolving governments, dissolving structures of power. Like we thought we saw that with Capricorn, but Pluto and Saturn coming together in a lot of ways is about the consolidation of power. Pluto breaks down, so there was some essence of breaking down, but it was more about consolidation, really, in the long run. Neptune is known as the great dissolver. So when Neptune and Saturn come together, that is the dissolution of false power. Ooh, the dissolution of false light. That's what's coming through right now. Oh my God, that's powerful. So there's something Spirit's bringing through regarding like the dissolving of the illusions of the false matrix. So that's going to be big. And Aries energy is all about sovereignty, stepping into your personal power. So I cannot wait to see what transpires when those two giants come together in the sky. Neptune is the stronger of the two because Neptune is the slower moving planet. It takes precedence. So it's going to be more of the dissolution versus the energies of Saturn being prevalent, which is the energy of boundary, which is the energy of containment and control. So, yeah, we're going to delve into that more as it continues to move closer as well. And I'm talking about astrology, honey. If you're not into astrology and you're not into tarot or spirituality, you're probably not going to enjoy this channel very much. If you are into those things, then you are probably going to like it here. So make your call, make your judgment. Maybe you're just open and you want to learn. Right now, we're talking clearly about the energies of Saturn and Neptune who are coming into conjunction. They're going to be essentially this dance, Annika. They're beginning this dance this year. They've been very close together really for most of this year. All right, we have Neptune now moved into Aries, Saturn in those final anaretic degrees of Pisces. And this came up during the live call on Patreon today. Just the energy of that as Saturn is in that final anaretic degree there, or the next to the final degree. And I actually, I have an extra phone now, but I haven't downloaded my astrology apps onto it. So I can't, I think Saturn's still at like 28 degrees right now, 27 or 28. I don't think it's hit that. No, obviously it's at 29 degrees because it's going to be at 0 degrees of Aries on the 24th. So excuse me. Yeah, so we're really feeling the pressure with some of those themes that Saturn and Pisces represent. So this is energetic boundaries. This is taking responsibility for our energy. This is major soul contracts and cycles that we've been wrapping up. Because remember, Saturn and Pisces, any planet in Pisces, we're not just looking at their transit through that sign as a cycle. We're looking at their transit through all 12 signs of the zodiac. Because when they hit 0 Aries, they're beginning a brand new cycle in their own energy too. So this is really big. We're closing up some major themes and energies here. Do I think Pope Leo will play in the false light being dissolved? I don't know too much about him. I'm not really sure. I have to feel into his energy a little bit. I mean, generally speaking, my gut reaction is always to say no. Like the Catholic Church is very much aligned with the false light. There's a lot of, I mean, the stuff that goes on there would make your blood curl, like not curl, but like curdle. Like it's deeply disturbing. So I don't, my instinct would be no, but who knows? I haven't really followed much about him. I know that there are people being installed into these places of power now to shift and flip that dynamic, but I just don't know that we're at the point of ascension where a positive role would be placed into the church. Yeah. Annika says evil. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of super. That's like one of the hubs of the cabal right there is the Catholic Church. Like particularly the church, the Roman Church. And also, I mean, they really use that, I mean, as a avenue to take over the world, right? Like the Romans were very much working under the sort of enmeshment of these dark beings and entities. Like before governments existed, the church existed, right? And yeah, so we won't go down that whole rabbit hole except to say all of that. And just be aware, keep your wits about you. You know, as we are shifting out of that old paradigm, false light abounds. It's everywhere. It's everywhere and in everyone that is asking you to turn your power over to something outside of yourself. All right, remember, you are God. God is within you. Yes, like play with your guides. You know what I mean? If you need assistance, reach out. It doesn't mean we can't help each other. You know what I mean? Like I'm still giving energy sessions. I'm still doing entity removal sessions. It doesn't mean I'm not helping facilitate people's healing process, but I'm just a helper. All right. I'm not asking anybody to give their power away to me. I'm coming together with their higher self to assist in a level of healing and ultimately helping to bring them back to a place where they take the lead in their own healing. All right. So it's like, just be really careful about that. Just be really aware. This energy is all about us establishing our own inner sovereignty. So yeah, that's all. I guess that's, I don't know. And we might say more about that. That's probably all we need to say about that for right now. Wit keepers we are. Yeah, I'm curious though. I got to look more into him. I just like, I stay out of all of that just because I just, yeah, you know what I mean? The balance of power is shifting. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that the church and these establishments and government, just like the governments, right? Like we said, the church is the oldest form of government. Well, one of the oldest forms that we know, right? They're going to continue to lose relevancy as we continue to move through these energies. So it's like they're still going to be there, but they're not going to, like, there's not going to be any energy behind them anymore because nobody's feeding them that energy. Because remember, all of these parasitic entities and the people that represent them, they have to feed, like, think a parasite can only thrive if it's feeding off of something. If nobody's giving them their energy anymore, they're not going to be able to survive. And that's what it's going to be. It's literally like starving them out in a sense. I bet it is. Golden Timeline. I'll check out his chart. Because I am a little bit intrigued. Absolutely. D. Amen to that, brother. All right, let's see. I think I want to just start pulling some cards for today. You know what I mean? Gemini season's coming up. So we got that happening on the 20th. Is everybody ready for that? I love Gemini season. I am a Venus in Gemini. I also have my Lilith and my Chiron in Gemini. I really enjoy the energy. It's fun. It's flirty. It's explorative, inquisitive. So, yeah, it's perfect energy for like that bridge between spring and summer. You know what I mean? Yeah, Geminis are fun. You know what I mean? Like if they got a really, really active Mercury as well, sometimes like the energy could be tempered a little bit. You know what I mean? Or like a lot of fire in the chart, things like that. But they're my peeps. You know what I mean? Clear. All right. Let's get some guidance as we're moving through this week. Guidance for whoever's going to be finding this whenever it is that they do find it. North Node Gemini. All right, D. So you're meant to be inquisitive in this lifetime. You're meant to be open-minded, to learn, to experiment. There's a really easy way to stop this nonsense. It's called clicking the fuck off. So, bye. There you guys, I'm feeling silly today. Everybody, you have the power. All you have to do is scroll through. Don't have to bring your heavy energy this way. We're having fun here. You know what I mean? This may not be the place for you, and that's fine. Like we were talking about, what was it, the other day? Like, it's okay not to be everybody's cup of tea. That kind of an energy. Honestly, it's kind of a compliment when we're not sometimes, depending on who it is, who's not trying to sip on our particular brand of tea, right? You know, if I am not palatable to certain individuals, that is kind of like a gold star in some regards, right? Because that says a lot about us. Hello, Amber Beautiful. D, did you just stop a stop sign? Oh, we're so happy you're here too. How are you, beautiful? Ashley, yay, hello. Hello, we got the A-team on here today, huh? Amber, Ashley, Annika. And we got the King of Wands as our first card out. That's that fire energy here. Yeah. I definitely did notice though, and I'm sure like some people notice, I'll call myself out on this, that definitely in a couple of the past live streams, I fed into some of the negativity more than I usually do. Like I let it kind of like, not necessarily push my buttons, but like irritate me. So I am making a concerted effort not to do that this time along, but I still am gonna, you know, talk, I'll still be a little bit feisty, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's always going to happen, right? We're going to have times when we're more impervious, and we're going to have times where we feed into some of that. It was really interesting. I was watching something the other day, and they were saying this is like kind of related. I guess it's related because it's coming up, right? It's this energy of like, don't feed into the timelines that you don't want to participate on. Because like if you react to a certain person or a situation, you start getting drawn into that timeline, into that energy. So don't give those negative timelines your attention. Remember, where we put our attention and our focus is where we get pulled, where we get drawn. So don't interact with those lower timelines, those lower energies at all when you can. And if you do, at least keep it lighthearted and don't let it hook your energy in. Don't let it get an emotional reaction out of you. Because there's a lot of energies, and this came up on the Patreon call today too. There's a lot of energies that are going to be, like Amber said, distraction. They're going to be trying to distract us. They're going to be vying for our attention. They're going to be triggered by us sometimes and lashing out and trying to get us to have an emotional reaction to kind of like throw us off our game. There's a lot of people who are waking up. There's a lot of people who are activating. And this is really, really beautiful, but there's a couple different layers to this. One layer to this is people who are waking up and activating, but they're not psychically protecting themselves. And so there's a lot of energies. We think about the people who are still asleep as the people being impacted by the negative energies, the entities, whatever you want to, you know, these forces, energies that we're talking about here. But it's not just them. Honestly, people who are awakening spiritually, whose crown chakras, whose third eyes are opening and activating, whose energy is wide open, those people can seriously be, I guess you would say, kind of like at risk just as much as anyone else. So there's a lot going on, and people are reacting more strongly to people's light sometimes, especially people who have some of these entity attachments, some of these energies going on. So you want to be aware of that. You want to not take it personally if that's happening. This is not only people who have entity attachments and stuff like that, but also just people who aren't wanting to do the work. People who are really struggling to stay unconscious when the energies are basically beaming consciousness at them at every turn. They're going to be really triggered by those of us who are standing in our light. All right, it just is the way that it is. So just know that. Don't take it personally. Continue doing your own thing. Continue moving forward. Continue being that light and that example for those who are drawn to that, for those who are ready to embrace that. I don't know if that has anything to do with this King of Wands that we got here, but we'll find out. Just their projections wanting to be realized. Exactly. Yelling to be realized. Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting too. I was contemplating this whole idea of our reality being a mirror earlier, and really sinking into that and what that means and what is being reflected about our own internal world and internal landscape. In situations like that, is there some fear, some truth being reflected as well? Something interesting to think about. Matrix monsters. So, and I guess what I mean by that is like, if somebody is being triggered by your light and they come undone on you, is there some part of yourself that is still judging you? Is there some part of yourself that is still judging your own awakening process? Just that's like another layer or another level of this that we can start to ponder. So we got the 4 cups here. So this to me feels like somebody who has a lot. They have a lot of power. They have a lot of prestige. But there's still something missing. It's like, despite everything that they have, I almost wanted to say like everything that they've earned. So this could be someone who worked really hard to get to a certain position in life. And yet there's this lack of fulfillment. There's this lack of joy. There's this lack of excitement. This to me, I'm definitely getting this feeling for some, and there's going to be multiple levels to this for different people who are finding and relating to this. So some of this has to do with somebody in love. It really feels like somebody who, I don't know why I'm getting this analogy. It's making me think of like, did you ever see the movie Aladdin? Where all these suitors were coming up who wanted to marry Princess Jasmine, and she wasn't interested in any of them. They were all kind of pompous. They all had that sort of ego. It was like she just was not feeling it. I'm feeling that for somebody. It's almost like maybe you've earned a lot, so you have a lot of status now. You have a lot of money. You have a lot of something. And a lot of people are throwing themselves at you, but none of them are really what it is that you are looking for. So there's a sense of disappointment here. For somebody else, this is just like reaching a certain pinnacle in your life or your career and then wondering like, so what's next? Realizing that it's like, oh, this is somebody waking up spiritually. This is what this is. So this could be somebody watching this, or this could be somebody you're involved with who's waking up spiritually. And it's like, it feels like they gathered a lot of validation from the external material world. And they perhaps received a lot of enjoyment through that. But now they're no longer fulfilled. It's like the things aren't filling them up anymore. This is very also like a super galactic center energy here, which is 2 degrees of Libra. And it's almost like these energies have had an impact on them, and they're starting to realize that they need to go deeper. There's a level of fulfillment that they simply can't access through the material world. So they're having to go deeper within. And this could be a collective energy that I'm tapping into, as well as an individual energy with somebody here. Now we got the King of Cups with the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. So there's a lot of, it feels like looking back into the past, a lot of emotional disappointment. I just had emotional dysregulation for somebody here. Got the 7 of Wands, so also, and the Devil. So there's a lot of fighting, a lot of feeling like you have to prove yourself, a lot of maybe loss and betrayal. So a lot of really heavy energies coming through here. So this is feeling like an energy. For some, this is like what's coming up. Maybe what started being purged and released during that Scorpio full moon, that there may still be some vestiges of this energy hanging around here. We may still be working through some of these energies. For somebody else, this has to do with this person that I was picking up on, who's going through the spiritual awakening. It's like, I feel like they don't connect with people. Because of this energy of not trusting people, this energy of loss, of betrayal, these fears. So this is just in general a message also, I think, for a lot of us who are afraid to get close, who are afraid to connect with people, who are afraid to let people, or even joy. I keep coming back to the energy of joy, letting joy in. Because of this energy of not wanting to lose. It's like you can't miss something that you never had. I literally hear somebody saying that to somebody. You can't miss what you never had. But obviously you once had something in order to have that perspective, right? Hello, Hunter. This is also just the energy of somebody who felt like their whole life was an uphill battle. Like me against the world kind of an energy, having to defeat all the odds, to defy the odds. And there's almost like there's this level of, I almost want to say like toxic self-sufficiency. And I know that sounds harsh. Self-sufficiency is a good thing, but when you can't even get close to anyone or let anybody help you because you have this like incredible urge to go it alone and do it alone, it does become toxic. So it's sort of like that energy that I'm feeling for somebody too. So in that original energy, which we keep coming back to here, it's kind of like they're sitting at the top, but they're realizing that they're all alone. There's nobody else up there with them. And that's what the dissatisfaction is. That's what the loneliness is. So for some people, it's realizing that you actually need something. And for somebody or a group of somebody's here that I'm reading for right now, the idea of needing anybody or anything is absolutely terrifying. And that goes back to that energy of you can't miss what you never had. So it's like realizing that you need people, that you need support, that you need connection, maybe that you even want love. And being like being really uncomfortable with that realization. And that is definitely a result of this Scorpio new full moon that we just had, especially with Uranus also coming into conjunction with the sun. There's a lot of revelations coming through right now. Yeah. I love that, Ashley, trying to relax into a softer life. I'm right there with you. And this is also, as we're relaxing into a softer life, this also has to do with shifting into a more balanced form of manifesting and creating, right? Because the masculine form of manifesting and creating is that energy of like, I have to control everything. I have to make everything happen. I have to like be here, like organizing everything and like be the catalyst for all this energy. Whereas the feminine, which is what we're learning to incorporate now, is about I'm going to be that point of attraction. I'm going to embody that vibration and I'm going to relax. I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to let all the goodness come to me that is in alignment with that vibration. So it's like melding and meshing those two energies. That is where a lot of light workers are at right now, is like we're learning how to do this. Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. As another aside there, you know, Ashley taking it further, talking about interdependence and codependency. And that's something that balance right there is also another aspect of what we're learning with this prevalent Aries energy that we're moving into with Neptune, with Saturn. It's Ceres is moving into Aries also. And Ceres is the mother energy, our relationship to our own inner mother, that aspect of the divine feminine, to our outer mother, our relationship to grief, our relationship to self-care, how we care for ourselves, how we nurture ourselves and others. There's a lot of powerful energies with Ceres moving into Aries as well. That self-care piece is huge. And that understanding of interdependence, right? Because Aries energy in its purest form wants to be very independent. It doesn't want to be tied to anyone or anything. It doesn't want anyone or anything to interfere with what it wants and where it wants to go. Meanwhile, its opposing sign of Libra is all concerned with the other, right? Are you okay? Are you happy? What can I do for you? And so the interdependence is when I can be independent and you can be independent, but we can come together as two sovereign beings and create something beautiful together and be mutually supportive and beneficial to one another. That is ultimately what that Aries Libra axis wants to master, is that energy there of interdependence. And interdependence feeds right into this age of Aquarius energy of cooperation and collaboration, because we have the most powerful collaborations when we're working from that place of interdependence. Clear. Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of us are ready for that, right? Just, I think as we're moving through this process, whether this is our ascension process, just our life in general, our experience on this earth, however many years it is that we've put in at this point from a linear perspective, we're all ready to just relax a little bit. We're all ready to step more into that divine feminine and be like, all right, let me just be the point of attraction. Let me stop trying to control everything. You know what I mean? Like, and we were talking about on the Patreon call how this is a big part of the effects that we felt from the full moon in Scorpio, was just like letting that be. Being like, all right, I'm done trying to control. All right, let me just be present. Let me just show up. Let me stop stressing about the things that are completely out of my control, right? Worry is a complete misuse of imagination. And just be here right now and be okay with whatever is right in front of me. So I think this is a really beautiful breakthrough for us as a collective here. I've been hearing a lot about a new timeline. We talked about this a little bit too. I was feeling it very much with the new moon in Taurus, really initiating that new collective timeline that we've all unexpectedly jumped onto. It's like we were calibrating toward the timeline jump that we had last year, and now we've had another one. So in a sense, and this is so funny, Spirit's bringing me back to when I was earlier about, not on this live stream, but before the live stream, about how I feel like I'm constantly playing catch up in my own life. And it's like, that's what it is, because we keep shifting timelines, and we shift timelines every moment of every day, right? Every time we make a different choice. I put on this shirt. I put on a different shirt earlier. There's a timeline where I kept that shirt on. There's a timeline where I didn't choose either one of these. You know, there's a timeline where I did a million different things, right? Where I didn't decide to eat lunch and I just hopped on the live stream at 2:00, right? And they all create different realities. And every time we make a choice or a decision, we're navigating onto a different timeline. All right, so there's micro timelines is what I kind of think of them as, that we're shifting through all the time. But we've been making some big leaps as a collective too, not just as individuals. And when we make collective timeline shifts, like what just happened, it's like the energy is insane. And there's a lot of like recalibrating that has to happen in order to catch up to that. So for some people, this looks like purging. For some people, this looks like almost like a break or a relief. And Spirit's saying the reason for that is because the rest of the collective just caught up. Because remember, yes, we are part of the collective, so we are impacted to a degree by the collective timeline, but we also have our own individual timelines. So some of us who've been in a timeline kind of like way ahead, so to speak, and this is no ego in this, it's just, you know, nuts and bolts semantics here, logistics, kind of way ahead of the collective, has maybe been feeling that disconnect really strongly. And now that the collective is caught up a little bit, it might feel a little bit more of a relief. And when I say the collective, I just mean 51%. All right, I don't mean everyone. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, because you guys, probably a lot more of you interact with the public on a more consistent basis than I do. On the weekends at my weekend hustle, I am out with the public in a certain sense. Other than that, I really have no connection to almost anybody. I'm like, the level of hermitage going on in my life is absolutely ridiculous. So like, I don't really know, but I can imagine that I know there's a lot of people who are not, obviously, who are part of that 49%, you know what I mean, or whatever. But a big enough amount of the collective is on board and moving into a higher frequency that we were able to make another major jump. We were talking about it on the Patreon call, how it's kind of like we feel like we merged with another version of ourselves. I don't know if you all on here can relate to that as well. Oh, that sounds amazing, Amber. I love that. That's my dream. That's like my next level of like what I want to accomplish, is being able to just live in an RV for a while and travel the country, particularly the western part of the United States. That's where I'm really called to explore. No collective energy on your UFO. Ploon, you're in a good place. Oh, Maestro, hello, by the way. That's okay, Amber. You know what? It's balance, right? Like that way might have not been sustainable for your whole life, but it was good for the season that it was good for. You know, like, and I'm sure it gave you a really beautiful, it got you out of the craziness in the most important time, honestly. You know what I mean? Because there was so much ridiculousness. It didn't really impact me in my own little bubble, but I know, especially depending on what parts of the country you live in, like people just lost their minds during COVID, which is, I mean, it's understandable, right? That's what it was designed to do, was make people lose their minds. But, yeah, that sounds like a beautiful way to have spent that time and that energy. Oh, normal American with stress. You know what I mean? Clear. Hopefully that will not be the norm for too much longer here. Yes, if the link that Annika's posting in the chat to join the Patreon doesn't work on your phone, use it on a laptop, or after the live stream, click on in the description box. The links in the description box work on the phone. Oh, your poor daughter. Is she younger, Amber? Not that she needs to be, but I know some of the young kids too. I mean, the ones that were like my son's age now, like a few years old, the level of fear. I remember reading stories about kids who were terrified to go outside, who would not leave the house without a mask on because they thought that meant that you were safe, which was literally broke my fucking heart when I read that. Like, to imagine that. Like that, like what these poor children were going through. Like, we can't even imagine as adults what these kids went through. Oh, it works on the replays? Awesome, Annika. Yeah. Yeah, 3rd grade. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's what every kid's childhood should be. You know what I mean? I think that's beautiful. All right, so we got the 9 of Swords. Somebody's got some stress going on. Somebody is excessively worried here. I'm also feeling nightmares. And Spirit's saying, like, if there are people on here having nightmares, make sure, we had talked a little bit about the entities and all the energies floating around. Make sure that you're protecting yourself psychically before you go to sleep. Because there are a lot of entities and energies that are just fucking bouncing around looking for a home right now. And that are really messing with people. So you want to create that love light bubble, that love light shield. Place your Merkaba, your 8-pointed star around your being. You sit in the center there, all right? Make sure that you are not consenting to any type of infringement upon any aspect of your being in this or any other time, space, dimension, or multidimensional reality. Just be really, really clear about that stuff. Remember that you are God, you are sovereign, and you are free. All right? Nothing can infringe upon you without your permission. And if it is, then that's an invitation to step even deeper into your sovereignty, to really set that boundary. And if you want help with that, please reach out to me. I am happy to assist you in that process. So some of this is like psychic attacks and stuff like that. I'm feeling for some too, this is just a lot of stress. Something... We were just talking about this, right? With the Scorpio full moon. I just responded to your email, by the way, Annika. I didn't see it until just now, before I hopped on the live stream. So check that out. You have an email from me in your inbox. This is that energy of just trying to control something that you can't control. This is also, I'm picking up on somebody here who's really worried about somebody close to them. Somebody who's struggling, somebody who's having a hard time, who's going through something. For somebody, this could be a child, like your child, and they're going through something and you can't do anything about it. It's that ultimate energy or feeling of powerlessness, right? Get the High Priestess here. The High Priestess is coming out saying they're protected. You can't protect them right now the way that you want to, but they are protected. They have a journey. They have an experience that they need to go through. And there's no way of negotiating around it. What they're going through right now is a powerful soul lesson. There's a soul contract that's playing out. And your part in that soul contract is to let them go through that. And to be there for them, yes. To be available when they're ready to come to you. But not to try to control the energy or the outcome. There's this energy of being the witness. Or I'm just feeling, I'm getting the witness. This is interesting. And I don't know if this is related to the message I just relayed or if this is another message. But what's coming through when I'm thinking of the witness right now is I'm thinking of how sometimes they say nothing can truly have happened unless it's been witnessed. right? It's that like that whole old analogy of like if a tree falls and no one's around to hear it, did it make a sound? And it's like they've done the experiments that show that energy behaves differently when it's being watched. And so it's this energy of the witness. Something needs to be witnessed, because if it's not witnessed, then it never happened. You're a witness for something. You're meant to be a witness for something. Whoever I'm reading for right now. But you're only meant to be a witness. You are not meant to participate. You are not meant to attempt to change the outcome. You are simply meant to witness. And this is a lesson for you in and of itself, because there's nothing harder for you than to sit there and do nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Always process your pain. Absolutely. Anything else about this? Oh, this is interesting. I'm also getting this message for somebody here who has the gift of astral travel and remote viewing. You're going to be called to certain places. Whether this is in your dream time, your meditation time, maybe even spontaneously, depending on how active this gift is within you, at other times as well. You're going to be called to specific places, dimensions, timelines, realities, where you're meant to witness certain things. And it's all this energy of to ground it into reality, so to speak. There's that key energy with, like we said, the power of the witness, of witnessing the thing. You're the one being called in to be the witness. So you're going to be, whoever this is for, you're going to be seeing some pretty interesting things, some pretty interesting scenarios. This is almost like this is like part of your spiritual, I'm not really getting the word here. It's not, it is a gift. It's a spiritual gift, but it's like, there's like a role that you play where you, this role of being the witness. You're going to be more conscious of it. But there's another aspect of this, because some of the things that you're going to be called to witness, it's like witnessing those events is going to give you a certain perspective. It's going to help you to understand certain things. And eventually it's going to lead to some sort of action that you are meant to take, or like there's a purpose to it for you as well, in what you're going to understand and how all those pieces are going to come together at the exact right time. For those of you on the Patreon call, we could say like Helen Keller, your Helen Keller moment. These are all paving the way for that. That's really interesting for somebody there. What about the process as a witness? Is it really my pain? Oh, you mean processing somebody else's pain, Maestro? Is that what you're getting at there? All right. Clear. Anything else here? Making me think of like, what was it? The Gregorians, were they considered like the watcher angels here? Any other messages? Okay. Got that Seven of Wands coming out again. Hello, Gustavo. All right, I'm feeling called to use a different deck now to complement that. We're going to use the Psychic Tarot. Clear. Oh, yes, and I can't believe it took me this long to mention it as well. The information for the Sedona retreat, I finally have put all of that together properly. So there is going to be a link for that. Annika might not have it to drop in the chat for today's chat. So if not, it's definitely going to be in the chat for the next live stream that we do. And I will post I'll post something about it in the community tab as well. So if you want to join the Sedona meetup, there's an option to join us every day for different hikes, energy activations out in nature together. And there's also an option if you want to enjoy the full experience in the Airbnb with me for the extra VIP experience. And that, if you are interested in that, email me about that. That will be included on the sheet, the contact information to email me, because there's a process involved in that, just to ensure that everybody who is in attendance for that it is a safe and sacred container that we're maintaining there. But I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited for people to be able to start signing up, to start connecting with one another. I do have a chat for everyone so that they can connect and message back and forth as well, for everyone who is not going to be staying in the B&B with me, who wants to connect and coordinate with each other too. It's going to be so much fun. I am so excited. That's going to be in September. That is the 8th through the 12th of September. All right, now that we've taken care of that. Clear. Yes, go ahead and subscribe. Welcome to the tribe, Gustavo. All right. Maestro. I think we can all relate to that, Maestro. So what is this Seven of Wands energy? Why does this keep coming up? This energy of, I just heard fighting your own battles. So for somebody, there's a need for somebody to learn how to fight their own battles. So this could be a message for somebody who tends to be the savior for somebody, who tends to always stick up for somebody, but it's almost like become disempowering to this person at this point, is what I'm getting. We've got the root chakra coming out with the Six of Pentacles here. All right, so this is kind of taking us in a different direction here. So that I guess we're gonna look at that as like it's its own standalone energy here. Just one final message that wanted to come out for somebody around needing to allow somebody, and that's part of that witness energy too, right? Needing to allow somebody to fight their own battles here. But this is also connected now to this base chakra energy. So this has to do with abundance. This has to do with manifestation and creation. Hello, Secret Bat. There's blocks within the root chakra, the base chakra this week, that are shifting and healing for some. And of course, this has to do with Uranus conjunct Taurus, or conjunct Taurus. Uranus in Taurus conjunct the sun in Taurus, right? Clearing out or closing out Taurus season with a bang with that massive conjunction. They were coming into conjunction during the full moon in Scorpio. That is becoming more and more pronounced. It's actually going to be exact on my birthday on the 17th. And then it's going to continue to break apart from there, but we're going to be feeling it throughout the whole end of Taurus season here, that conjunction of the sun and Uranus. So this is really helping us have these breakthrough moments concerning these energies that Uranus has been working us through since it entered Taurus back in 2018. This is where Uranus has been pushing outside of our comfort zone, asking us and inviting us to grow and evolve. We're going to know this by the Taurus place in our charts, where this is particularly powerful for us. But as a collective, we're seeing these revolutionary energies and these major shifts and changes when it comes to all of these collective Taurian themes. So this is abundance, this is self-love, this is all kinds of wealth, prosperity, the material world, our relationship to the material world, our relationship to nature, our relationship to our bodies. There's a whole lot with this Uranian Taurian energy. But for a lot of people, there's going to be these breakthroughs around wealth and abundance, about those insecurities within the root chakra, those insecurities that make us feel like we're always having to fight our way to the top. We're always having to fight other people. We're always having to work really hard for what it is that we want. That energy of, like we said earlier, like the uphill battle, right? So there's this beautiful breakthrough, it's like this solidifying energy within the root chakra. It's like feeling more rooted, feeling more grounded, feeling more stable. For some people, this is also going to be a result of different things that you've been doing to work with that abundance consciousness, whether this is affirmations, whether this is subliminals, whether this is energy work, energy clearing, belief work, whatever it is that you've been doing, there is a breakthrough happening here. And if anybody is still struggling with a breakthrough relating to this base chakra energy, this first chakra, work on that first chakra. That's going to give you that breakthrough. Something interesting that I can share with you all relating to the super cosmic points. I've been working on my class that I'm teaching on that for Synchronicity University next week, is the fact that the galactic center actually activates and connects to us through the root chakra. You would expect it to be the crown or the third eye or something, but it's actually the root. That's how important it is to be rooted and grounded. That's where our true cosmic connection comes from. It comes from that rooting, that groundedness in the being, that connectedness to these deeper, more rooted aspects of our being. So work with that root chakra, whether it's through crystals, whether it's through being out in nature, connecting to the ground, whether it is working with the color red, the frequencies I'm feeling for some people, connecting to the root chakra. Some of you guys need a good old-fashioned energy clearing. Reach out to me if you want to utilize me for that. I offer many services in that area. Reach out to somebody else that resonates with you. Like we said, use some of these methods and modalities to do it for yourself. Just do it, because there's a major breakthrough for you when you do. And it's going to unlock the floodgates of this prosperity. But what Spirit also wants to say is, don't overlook the fact that true prosperity begins within the spirit. It's not within the bank account. It's always within the spirit first. You are already abundant. You are already wealthy. You are already prosperous beyond belief. You are already free. You just have to remember that. And for some people, it really, with this base chakra, it really has to do with feeling safe and secure, right? This is when you're in this energy, you don't feel safe and secure. You're struggling. You're fighting against something or someone. You have to have your guard up. You know what I mean? There's this energy. Somebody feels like they have to have their guard up all the time. And that is directly blocking the ability for abundance to manifest in your life. Yeah, it's time to go deep within the shadow. There's something that wants to be revealed. It started peeking its little head up during that full moon in Scorpio. Past life energy, memories perhaps as well here. Tell me more about the shadow energy. That's the moon. There's shame here. There's shame that wants to be healed. And Spirit's saying, look at what you judge in other people, because that's your shame. What you judge about another, that's your shame. When you clear your shame, you clear this blockage within the root chakra. And that's where the energy begins to flow. Remember we talked about the energy of reality as a mirror earlier? We've got the Hermit card coming out with the crown chakra here. And the Hermit was in reverse. I'm not really feeling that though. A lot of times I say that and then I talk about the reversed energy, but I'm really not feeling that with this. I'm feeling like Spirit's saying, if you want to connect to me, to you, right? Go somewhere quiet. Tune out the distractions. I feel like somebody's been getting really frustrated because they've been lonely. But Spirit's saying, or they haven't been able to sleep at night. Spirit's saying, I'm carving out time for you to connect with me. Why are you not taking advantage of that time? That's an opportunity for you to connect with me. As soon as you recognize it as such, and you build that connection, that won't be required anymore. Does that make sense? It will for whoever it's meant for. Yeah. Spirit's like you're missing the invitation. It's right in front of you. The solitude is an invitation to connect to me. It's not a punishment. It's an opportunity to clear your energy, to come into alignment, to open up and activate that crown chakra. Some of you, it's like your crown chakra is wide open right now. Your third eye is wide open. You're just not hearing anything because there's too much interference. So that's for other people. If there are people who are spending a lot of time around other people and stuff like that, Spirit's saying you need to carve out that time. Especially, I feel like there's somebody that I'm speaking to who's been trying to open up their third eye, to activate their psychic senses for a while now, and they're getting frustrated because it's not happening. It's happening. You just aren't taking the time out that you need in order to be able to recognize that it's happening. So start meditating, start connecting, start going within. Start tuning out some of these distractions. Remember, we talked about how solitude and the journey of isolation is part of the spiritual initiation that we go through when we start awakening. And it lasts different amounts of time for different people. I've been going through that heavy the past few years, you all. I get points where I'm extremely lonely. I am somebody who likes a nice balance of social interaction and sort of a break from that too, right? Venus and Gemini, you know what I mean? And I haven't really had that for quite some time. And sometimes it sucks. It really does. But I understand it's part of the initiation. It's also part of being parent of a small childhood. You know what I mean? Like, we all go through these periods of isolation. And it's okay. Take advantage of it. If this is your reality, same thing with like not being able to sleep at night. Spirit's waking you up at 3 a.m. Meditate. You know what I mean? Take advantage of the time. Hello, Sophie. We miss you. It's great to see you on here. Yeah, it is. The energy is wild. A lot of people are having that insomnia. Yep. I have had the opposite. And I think it's because Spirit's been teaching me how to rewrite my DNA. And I did it once. And now I feel like sometimes I just think about the change that I want to happen and it's happening. That's the only thing I can attribute it to. Because I talked about how I wanted to reset my DNA so that I needed less sleep because I was always feeling tired and it's been a struggle. It was a struggle up until recently. After I had my son, like I felt like I was just always behind. I was always lethargic. And then all of a sudden, the past couple of weeks, I've needed way less sleep than I typically do. I've had way more energy than I did before. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if I did that, right? Or if it's just how I'm reacting to the current energies or what, but I'm like, thank God. But a lot of people, it's the other way. It's the other way. There's a lot of tiredness. It's just if you're tired and you can, just rest. Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to always, sometimes I still get insomnia close to the full moon. I used to not sleep for like 3 days, like the day or two before, and then maybe even the day after too. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you have, Sophie. You are just like a powerhouse. You got so much energy running through you. It's like you, I'm trying to find an analogy right now, but you don't need it. You know, you're like a live wire. We got positive movement forward on the bottom of the deck though. I'm getting energy 8-8, accelerated movement there with, so definitely movement by the Lion's Gate for some people if you've been feeling stifled in some area of life. I'm definitely getting love for some. I'm getting health for others. Forward movement in those areas. A career, especially careers involving fame or like getting your name out there in some respect. Then we have destiny and disruption. So this is Spirit reminding you, if a tower moment occurs in your life, it is disrupting you to guide you, to put you back on course, to guide you toward your destiny. Of course, we have to be willing to meet our destiny halfway, right? I saw somebody wrote something the other day and I really liked it about the difference between fate and destiny. And they said, like, fate is what you're born into. Destiny is what you make, what you choose. What do you decide to do with that? And I really liked that, because a lot of times you think about fate and destiny as the same thing and you're like, all right, well, which is which then? Does, you know what I mean? Like, what is the difference? So I really liked that sort of explanation of the difference between fate and destiny. Fate is your lot, the cards you're dealt. Destiny is how you play them. So somebody, it's like you've kind of wandered off course in a sense. And like in one perspective, we could say we never wander off course, right? Because there's an infinite amount of possibilities and we do have free will. And from another perspective, you can say that there is a certain course that our soul chartered for this lifetime, right? And perhaps something is kind of throwing that off. So this is like that Uranus energy again too, coming through to put you back on the path. For somebody, I feel like it's like it was your free will because you prayed to your guides, to your angels for assistance. And the tower is their answer. Exactly, Maestro. So that's like the script they wrote. Somebody's going off script right now. But they prayed to their guides and they said, please help me figure out what to do. Help me figure out where to go. So the tower is like the rerouting to put you back on the desired path. For somebody else, Spirit just wants to come through really strongly and say, there's a choice or a decision you made that you feel like thwarted your destiny. It didn't. You're still going to get there. You might have added a few miles onto the GPS, maybe. You might have rerouted yourself, but you're still going to get where you were going. You cannot, like, what's the way, how do I want to say this? Just, you can't thwart your destiny. You can't screw it up. Like, if your desire is to fulfill your destiny, to fulfill your soul's plan, your soul's highest path and plan for this lifetime, you will do that. There is no choice you can make that's going to screw that up. Not permanently. Some of your choices may take you in some roundabout ways, but you're still going to get there. So don't worry about that. In fact, Spirit's saying for somebody or a group of somebody's listening to this, that choice that you think thwarted your destiny actually brought you closer to it. It actually put you on a much more direct route. It's just not the route that you thought you were going to take. And it's not, you can't identify the destination right now. And that's okay. You don't need to. You're not meant to know. You're just meant to trust. That's what you did before. Continue trusting now. Oh, I'm so glad, Amber. I did too, honestly. That message was for me too. I love how connected we all are on here. I really do. It fucking tickles me. I'm so glad because I was having my own realization as I was saying it. I was like, oh shit. Great, right? Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, you did it. There we go. You didn't stumble off course. You are much more on course than you realized. You are headed right where you're supposed to be going. Whatever supposed to means, right? All right, anything else here? Yeah, what do we have back on the bottom of the deck? Accelerated motion, positive forward movement. 8-8. 8-8 is going to be big this year. 9-9 is, of course, going to be the big one of the year, being that it is a 9-year. That's why we're doing Sedona in September. Also eclipse season. So it's going to be wild. Clear. Something about this card, too. Pay attention to the stars. Sorry. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why that call came through. Something in the sky. This is reminding me of I love to go out at night and stare up at the stars, and I can see the different ships flying by and stuff like that. There's something. Wow, what am I feeling from this? There's something really powerful coming through about this. And yeah, Sophie, we were talking about that earlier. How we did jump timelines. And a lot of us are merging with another expression of ourselves. Maestro. He said, when we get to the last chapter, we're going to be so impressed with ourselves. We'll need 1,000 more ego deaths. I love it. There's something with this, though. This is like, could be the significance that I'm feeling of like a comet or a meteor shower that we're going to have this summer. It could also be, I feel like somebody returning to Earth. So this could be like a soulmate. Remember how we said in the Twin Flames video how we were going to have soulmates, twin flames reincarnating? Like the walk-ins and all of that, walking into bodies to reunite with their counterparts. But this is like, I don't know. Somebody returning to this planet. Give me some more. What else can you tell me about this, Spirit? Somebody incarnating again, maybe. This definitely is, for some people, the energy of your spirit team reaching out to you more, your team of light connecting with you. Some of you, it's like if you have connections to planets within the Galactic Federation, any of these different things, like they might be reaching out to you. Spiritual union, this card keeps coming out. Two of Cups. So some of you, this is definitely twin flame or something about connection, union. Yeah. Partnership. Somebody's beloved. Couple things. I was getting somebody's beloved coming home. So for somebody, this is about your beloved reincarnating or incarnating on this planet. For others of you, this is you meeting somebody who is a counterpart, who is a powerful soul connection for you. And you're going to spontaneously begin to remember past lifetimes that you've had with this person when you meet. Particularly a version, a lifetime that you had with them on another planet. It's like a mission that you started together in that lifetime that you're coming here to complete in this one. It's like a story that repeats. on different planets in different dimensions. That's so beautiful. I feel like forever I'm talking to right now, this is somebody that you've never met. And I feel like you've stared up at the sky and you've literally wished upon a star. Like you felt them in your bones. You knew that they existed. You just didn't know where. Or this is like that feeling of when we talk about homesickness, like homesick for the stars. But it was more than like a star or a place. It was like a person who feels like a place to you, if that makes sense. Or a place and a person because they are connected to this place, whoever this person is. Definitely a husband or wife on another planet. I heard Antares. That's going to be for somebody. And this could be for a collective of people as well, Scorpion. Antares, it's a star system, Antares. All right. So it's not going to be the same for everyone. There could be there could be a collective of people that message is for Scorpion. Not all of them are going to be from the same place. So the specifics of the place may be different for different people. It's not always just one specific person that a message is for. Sometimes it's a collective of people who are all going through a similar type of experience. But I did hear Antares for somebody. And there are planets out there and star systems that we don't even know the name of. Right? So we can't always get the names. It either resonates or it doesn't. Don't make it try to fit if it doesn't fit. And if it does fit, then just you'll know when you know. It'll become clear when the time comes. Third eye chakra. Yeah, powerful spiritual awakening, psychic awakening here connected to this meeting. Heart chakra and light and the lovers. Oh my God. I don't like to give people false hope because I've been let down so much and disappointed so much in love myself. I don't ever want to be one of those readers who's just like, oh, you're going to be in union with your twin flame. You know what I mean? But this is like, for somebody here, this is what's happening. All right. Like there's no way to get around it. You can use whatever label you want. There's a very powerful divine connection with somebody. Like I said, many lifetimes. I was getting two different energies. One was this energy of finally getting to complete something that you started in another lifetime. Another one was like you have many, many lifetimes and you're together in all of them. Like you just always come back together. The other one is like you're finishing something that you weren't able to complete. Absolutely. We're all different and unique in our own beautiful ways. So yeah, this is major psychic awakening with the third eye, heart awakening, activation with the heart chakra here. That's beautiful. Whoever that is for, let me know when this happens for you. You don't have to say it on here. You can email me. Just let me know because I would love to share in the joy of that reunion with you. Yeah, Ace of Cups, love begins because it's been a long time coming. I feel like for whoever this is for. It's been a long time coming. For some of you in the collective that I was just reading for, like you may have, even if you would deny it and you wouldn't admit to anybody, even maybe yourself, there's an aspect of you that was always this hopeless romantic. You know, even though it didn't seem realistic, even though you didn't know why. And you're about to find out why. Clear. All right. Hello, Tara. Patience. Planning. All right. We're going to close with a good old-fashioned crystal card for the week ahead. And yes, we were just reading tarot. Yes. Scorpion. Clear. All right. Hermit. Lots of Virgo energy coming out in this reading. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's like all my cards want to be read clear when we do these live streams. Let's get a card for the week ahead. Okay, that was quick. All right, we got Black Onk's Grounded Self-Awareness coming out with Howlite, Spiritual Beginnings. And I love this because we were talking about the grounding, right? Connecting with that root chakra. And also the importance, especially when you're going through, if you're experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms, the best thing you can do for yourself is ground. Rest, hydrate, and ground your energy. I'm even drinking like an electrolyte mix now to really help with the hydration. Because I've been feeling like extra dehydrated lately. All right, let's see. Black Onks. Come on, I kind of know my alphabet. Here we go. Okay. Taking the light language on this card. The Master Crystal Deva of Black Onks is Onai-Chel or Onachel. And Onachel says, raise me from the earth and united we will anchor your physical body. Enter my calm self-awareness and allow my supporting touch to lift you through the physical veil to a new light. Together we are stimulating the pathways of the intuitive, activating your real voice and sound, your cosmic signature. Ooh. Oh, this is like what we did in the meditation on the Patreon today. That's so cool. Guiding you I am as you flow with the rivers of life. Detach from all that seems complex, stressful, or lacking in harmony. Let it run its course, for without the attachment of the conscious illusion self, all is of heaven. Open your eyes of light and mind and step through the gates of your future. For you and only you hold the key to your creation. What you perceive in the world is your only limitation. Let me read that last part again. What you perceive in the world is your only limitation. Talking about reality as a mirror again, right? Let's see. Let's see. It helps to balance and bring equality to the male and female energies within the self, which is interesting. It helps with stress, able to melt it away by delivering absolute awareness of self. If you know you, then you know what you need. Let's see. It provides a space so one can view the world they have created. Then with support and wisdom, it activates decision-making and responsibility. Thus, we only absorb that which we need from the world, simplifying life and dissolving stress. Work with Onks activates perseverance and newfound support of self and life, allows flow and non-attachment. Spiritually, Onks helps develop the physical body and can allow it to carry vast amounts of light, which activates high levels of growth. This stone also allows control of sexuality, the banishing of the ego, and the calming of lust, often leading to mastery via tantric processes. Onks is the most powerful activation stone of the base chakra. Come on. A job it usually performs with the other members of the base chakra trinity. Bloodstone for healing and smoky quartz for perfected function and completion. Black Onks is sacred to Anubis, Bast, and Osiris of Egypt, and links powerfully to Ascended Master El Moria. Onks is of great use in weight problems, neurological disorders, foot pain, and especially ailments from walking, and also breaking smoking addiction. Interesting. Something in the physical world is creating stress and strain. You may have become involved in something that is not your responsibility. You need to have a good look at yourself, your needs, and your physical surrounds. Weren't we talking about that too in the reading, being the witness? Allowing people to have their own experience, right? Not fighting other people's battles. You need to have a good look at yourself, your needs, and your physical surrounds. This is a time for strong decisions and action concerning your physical well-being and happiness. Decisions of the nature you must make are often best made in solitude, outside of the influence of others. Black Onks also presents where there is a need for grieving. And the affirmation is, I have all I need. I create my world and I am free. And then let's see. Black onyx is a healer mainly on the heart, sacral, and base chakras. Placed below the feet on the earth star to powerfully remove stress. And then it says see charoite for the stress and worry trinity. Now we're going to look at howlite as well. There we go. And this is all about spiritual beginnings. Oh, thanks, Maestro. All right. The Master Crystal Devra of howlite is Nurael. And Nurael says, take my hand in yours, child. Let me melt the burdens of your physical world and float you will. At home amongst the stars in the infinity of space eternal. Let us light your path, and never again will you journey alone. Like snow, feel me fall around and upon you, calm, peaceful, and quiet. Let us build the base from which the flower of spirit may bloom. Together again, step gently in the icy footprints I leave, and the sunlight that you are will give rise to subtle movements toward your spirit. In my embrace, time is not. The peaceful and patient warrior of light within has risen, emotions tamed and mind at peace. Allow the many vibrant colors of the spirit that you are to manifest a rainbow, upon whose back we will ride to the source of all. Let's see. Howlite's simple purpose with humanity is spiritual beginning, a role she achieves by cutting our ties to the past and allowing us to create a new solid base birthed from a balanced, peaceful state of mind and emotions, so the flower of spirit may bloom. Howlite is the keystone to the treatment of insomnia, weren't we just talking about that, and other sleep disorders, which is achieved by her powerful ability to instill calm and peace into the mind. Howlite often finds her greatest roles in healing, side by side with some of the most potent and powerful minerals on earth, to whose action she adds a patient and peaceful side. She is one of the most nurturing and gentle energies we have available to us, a gift that serves us well as she allows us to reflect on our past, detach, and move forward. Few members of the mineral kingdom dissolve anger and rage as well as howlite, maybe hence its name, especially where the cause is impatient of self or others, or impatience rather. Howlite is often utilized by spirit to integrate new energies into a person. So if you're having or struggling with the integration of all the frequencies, even this next level of your highest self that we talked about that we're coming into alignment with right now, howlite can be really useful with that, as well as, like we said, the insomnia. I'm feeling a whole lot of the ascension symptoms that we're experiencing right now. Let's see. Howlite is often utilized by spirit to integrate new energies into a person. We just talked about that. Spiritually, in combination with petrified wood and apophyllite, howlite has the ability to allow astral travel and is a specialized mineral in the discovery of relevant past life information. She may also be used to induce a deep meditative state and is a sacred stone of the Sirius star system, a major contact stone to the Great White Lodge and the entire Brotherhood of Light. It suits them that the high level of the white ray and howlite goes unnoticed, as they always have it at their disposal for higher purpose. At the physical level, howlite is able to balance calcium levels of the body and can aid in the upkeep of bones, teeth, and soft tissues. So if you're having any issues with your bones, tissues, howlite will be helpful for you there as well. And then it says, with this peaceful, loving, and gentle energy by your side, you're being offered a place of peace, calm, and solitude. We got that card too, right? That's that Virgo energy coming back up again. It's time to reflect on all that you are and your greatest achievements from a balanced and peaceful state of mind and emotion. The time has come to gently cast away the attachments to your past and build the foundation of a new and beautiful direction or journey. Howlite is a doorway stone. She indicates to you today that the door is open. You may pass if you are willing to look forward rather than back and take each step with love. And the affirmation is peacefully I accept change. And I'm laughing because my son had me drawing doors all day this morning. He likes to sit there and instruct us in what he wants us to draw. And he kept telling me to draw doors this morning, so I think that's funny. And then we have hematite, spiritual grounding on the bottom of the deck. I think hematite came through recently as well. So really working with that hematite, a lot of grounding energy here with black onks and hematite. Spirit wants us to get as grounded and rooted as possible this week. Clear. Yeah. I mean, the realm we're actually existing in this moment that our consciousness is currently placed in is the most important. That's why we're here. Absolutely. I wouldn't disagree with that. And we have citrine, abundance, and selenite, spiritual guidance coming through too. I just felt called to pull those for some reason. Some of you may want to work with those, especially if you're working through those abundance blocks like we were talking about earlier. All right. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me today, as always. I'm going to sign off and I'm going to go enjoy some of the beautiful sunshine outside. But I will talk to you all very soon. I love you. I honor you. I respect you. If nobody told you today, you are beautiful. You are powerful. You are seen. And you are heard. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Blessings to you too. Bye, Chad. Bye, Scorpion. Annika. All of my beautiful, beautiful people who are still here with us. Dee, Michael, Maestro, Sophie, Tara, Gustavo, if you're still here. Everybody who did not plume, Golden Timeline. Everybody who didn't comment but has also been here just silently taking in the energies and adding their energy and vibration to the mix. I appreciate you so much. Without all of you, there would be no channel. It would just be me talking into dead air or space. So thank you for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Yes, and oh, also, if anybody wants to sign up for Sedona, I will link that link in the chat here, as well as the description box. And you can look over the different options. There'll be an option if you just want to purchase the meetup ticket, or if you want to have the full experience, the VIP experience with the retreat option, email me about that. There'll be a link for that as well. Bye. See if I can end this. My screen doesn't realize that I'm tapping on it half the time now. I don't know what's going on. All right, there we go. Bye.